721 here, Big 550 KTRS. There was a story in Sunday's St. Louis Post-Dispatch that should be read by every single St. Louisan and every single national media member who ever thought about wanting to cover Ferguson and Mike Brown and Darren Wilson. It was written by a number of people at the Post-Dispatch, including our next guest, Jeremy Kohler. Jeremy, thanks for joining us here on KTRS Radio in St. Louis.
Thanks for having me.
How long did it take you guys to write the story?
We've been working on this and some related stories for a couple of months. We still have some stories in the pipeline about the municipal court system.
It takes so long because it's such a web of being connected and unconnected, and there's no real place to go to see the judge in this town is the prosecutor over there and it is the mayor over here.
It was a challenge, and the municipalities made it more difficult for us by not immediately turning over their dockets. We wanted to look at the docket for a given month, and we picked November of 2014 to see who was in court and who was representing the defendants, and so we could actually track how the roles change. And it was very hard. We actually got just a very narrow window into this, and I don't know if you saw the graphic on the front page on Sunday, but we were able to build this kind of web of reciprocal relationships between these attorneys based on just a very, very small amount of records.
I don't know if you can do it by memory, but who is Donald Smith, and what type of jobs does Donald Smith hold?
Donald Smith is an attorney who holds multiple roles in municipalities. He's a city attorney in Berkeley, prosecutor in Berkeley, city attorney in Beverly Hills, judge in Dillwood, judge in Greendale, prosecutor in Moline Acres, city attorney in Moline Acres, city attorney in Pine Lawn, city attorney in Velda Village Hills, and also is in private practice.
Oh my gosh!
Was he the worst offender?
Worst offender. I don't know. I mean, there was one story. There was one incident that we talked about in the story. Some of the municipal court cases can go to circuit court if they're appealed, or if the attorneys want to have the case before the circuit court judge instead of a municipal court judge. And I was sitting in Division 40 in circuit court, and Donald Smith was there representing. As a private attorney representing a guy on a traffic ticket, but was also there as prosecutor for, I think it was Berkeley, prosecuting a guy on a ticket. And the judge called him to the bench, and there was some confusion on the judge's part because he starts, he asks Donald a question. He says, Donald says, "Oh no, that's my client," and so he switched roles in the matter of 30 seconds in front of the same judge.
That is just... Let me ask you a question, Jeremy. Are there just not enough judges or lawyers to be able to play these other roles so all these other judges and lawyers don't have to wear so many hats?
I think there are plenty of attorneys in St. Louis County. I think some of these guys just started specializing in these types of jobs, and they're just at the top of the resume pile when one of these jobs open up.
Keith Chung is another one who you guys sort of cover, and his name sort of came to light during the whole Ellisville impeachment mayor story. He was involved with that as well.
Yeah, he was the prosecutor in that case.
Right. He's also a prosecutor in St. Anne, Crystal Lake Park, Frontenac, Normandy, and a judge in Ladue.
Correct.
What was amazing to me was many of the lawyers and judges and prosecutors you talked to found nothing wrong with this system.
Actually, the silence has been deafening the last couple of weeks since we've been putting these stories out. So I don't know that. I think that some of them have probably been expecting this for quite some time. It's true though that the ethical rules that they are under right now allow these types of relationships in St. Louis County.
Talk about the story of the kid who was fined for wearing saggy pants.
The kid who was when was this?
Wasn't this the story where he got the $25 fine and then he missed the court date, so it was an extra $100 and then it was an extra this and an extra that, or was that a different story I'm talking about?
I think that's a different story, but we have seen that happen where the initial fine gets multiplied by missing court dates. That's a common theme of several of our stories last.
Right.
couple
Okay.
of
All right.
months.
So I got my stories confused. They're talking about capping the number of tickets and the monies that cities generate. That would do nothing to solve this problem of multiple positions in multiple cities, or would it?
Yeah, I'm not sure how that would affect the problem of these overlapping roles. It certainly would reduce the amount of revenue that some of the municipalities could take from their municipal courts, and that might affect their ability to have a municipal court or actually even be a city. So that, I suppose, it could affect it that way.
Yeah.
Are they making a lot of money doing this?
Some of them make pretty good money, but for the most part, they're part-time jobs. You're not going to see too many of the judges or prosecutors make more than $10,000 to $15,000 per year per role. But when somebody is doing 7 or 8 of these on top of a private practice, it could be more lucrative than that.
The team you guys put together found, and I'm reading straight from the story here, as a defense attorney, Smith, who we talked about earlier, represented a client in Ferguson, while Brockmeyer, that's that judge that was just released from Ferguson, Smith represented a client in Ferguson. Brockmeyer was a judge. Around the same time, Brockmeyer was defending a client in Berkeley, where Smith is the prosecutor. The two men also served together in Delwood, where Smith is the judge and Brockmeyer the prosecutor.
Sure. So if you're a judge in a given municipality, people are relying on you for you're deciding their cases on a nightly basis. And so then if you appear in other courts, people are going to want to bend over backwards for you because you're going to be passing judgment on them later on.
Right. What has been the reaction? The story came out, I guess it was posted Saturday night at stltoday.com. It was in Sunday's newspaper. It's been a couple days. What has the reaction been to this story?
The reaction's been very strong from readers thanking us for bringing this to light. And it's, almost comical in areas where you see how much overlap there is.
Right. It really is must reading. Have you gotten any outside comments, people from the national media, the Justice Department, Washington, D.C., New York, some of these people who swoop in, helicopter in, drop in, and think they know St. Louis? Have you gotten any comments from those types of people?
I'm just getting back in from a couple of days out of town, so I think we'll probably start tackling that today.
Yeah, it's really quite fascinating and a must-read. Jeremy, great job. Thanks for spending a couple minutes with us.
Thanks, McGraw.
You got it. Jennifer Mann, Jeremy Kohler, and Stephen Deary, who wrote the article, A Web of Lawyers Play Different Roles in Different Courts. It is reading.
It is.
And in terms of full disclosure, we have a small partnership, an agreement with the Post-Dispatch with our TV and our video. And but you criticize the Post-Dispatch all you want. They're the only news entity in town that has the resources and the hours available to do the heavy lifting, to do the digging, the knocking on doors, the investigation, to find out, because this is not
a week's worth. I mean, this took months.
Right,
for
this
them
took
to do
months,
this.
and they're not these little towns are not very helpful in telling you who the prosecutor is and the police
Right.
chief and the lawyer, because they don't want to be found out. So, congratulations to the Post-Dispatch for a well-researched, well-written story that we all agree gets to the heart of the problem, but no one's willing to take the time, the money, or the effort to do it. So we are thrilled with our partnership with the Post-Dispatch.
Mind-boggling.
It really is. 7:30 here, Big 550 KTRS.